Hey, Chris Lipe here. A lot of you have been asking me to break down Corey Taylor's vocals from the Iowa era, particularly his screaming and what made it so amazing and full. And I'm proud to announce that I have the isolated vocals for Left Behind off of the Iowa record. And we're going to get into his approach, what makes it different than some of the other eras. And we're going to get into the production as well. I'm very excited to do this, partially because of all the requests, but partially because I'm excited to make this recording accessible to us vocalists, us aggressive vocalists. It's really easy to listen to that record and go, this is just otherworldly. I could never do this. And we're never going to do it exactly, or we're never going to do it like Corey Taylor, but we are going to be able to, by digging into these tracks and by me diving into certain aspects here, this is going to be more accessible than you think. Go into this with, you've got your voice. It does what it does. We're going to borrow from his approach, both vocally and production-wise. We're going to utilize screaming. We're going to utilize aggressive, compressed chest voice vocals. If you'd like more help going into this style of singing with your own voice, click the link below and try out my program, The Aggressive Vocalist's Master Plan of Attack. It's a full course on aggressive vocals. Screaming, growling, singing with extreme distortion. My point is that we can take our own voices, blend it with his approach, and a bit what we perceive his mindset to be by going through this track. And I think we're going to get a lot closer than I initially thought based on this perspective and this pursuit. So let's get into this. Remember, as we're going through this, the point is accessibility, right? We're not going to sound like Corey Taylor, but if we do things and approach things the way that they did on this recording, and we break it down, we're in for some cool opportunities. Listen here, starting out, hopefully you're listening in headphones, to the difference in placement and the doubling and how that's implemented in this first passage here.
Oh no, this is that I've disappeared in time. Find me wrapped in glass and slowly so till I all my friends have pictures made to...
Okay, so notice we have these doubled and panned out yells and screams, and then we have the doubles singing and they're panned in the center. This is key.
All my friends have pictures made to make you cry.
And like his other recordings, we have a variety of voices going on here. Okay? We're going to break this section down because it's key to understanding the rest of the song and the rest of the production.
All my...
There's a pitch in there. Oh my! Right? Also notice the contrast between his approach when he yells and screams.
Oh my!
He's very long. Oh my! Now, if you've been watching my videos, you know we start somewhere and we get there. We have to break down the nuances in order to create an opportunity for us to get anywhere close to what he's doing. So this is not, oh my! It's not, it's much more long. Oh my! But if you listen here again,
Oh my!
we've got a cleaner yell in there. Let's give Corey some credit here too. He's got a naturally lower, raspier sound. When I go, oh my, and even if when I rasp it up, oh my, I've got a higher, thinner, more glassy sound to my voice. He's got a raspier sound. We have to keep that in mind as we're doing this. That shouldn't keep us from pressing into this. We just need to be aware that we're not going for imitation. Okay, that said,
Oh my!
we've got a couple tracks panned around. Oh my! And then, that's long. Then we have a much more broken up approach. Oh my! Long. Oh combined with oh my. Notice how one's a little bit cleaner. I'm letting it break up a little bit, and then we've got the extreme breakup, but we've got pitch. If I layer these, the contrast that we hear is going to accentuate that awesome sounding scream. Also, you hear a fair amount of distortion on his voice in varying levels depending on which track it is. Keep this in mind as we listen through as well. I'm going to switch over to this track here. Test, test. It's automatically crunchier. I'm using 3 different types of saturation here. First, I'm using a bit of saturation on this Omni channel from Waves. And I'm band limiting. I'm taking in the highs and the lows a little bit. You hear that in his recording as well. Then I'm using the decapitator. This is a Sound Toys plugin. And I've got the drive up a little bit. I've turned the mix down. And again, I'm limiting the distortion from a band limiting standpoint as well. I've got the highs cut and I've got the lows cut a bit. Now, as I experiment with this with my own voice and compare it to what he's doing, by getting rid of some of the lows and highs, some of the sparkly, and letting it cave in on itself a little bit, we actually create more room for those doubles. Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! Oh my! Fans have pictures meant to make you cry. Oh my! Fans have pictures meant to make you cry. So the way that we approach and the way that it's produced has a ton to do with what we end up hearing as this amazing contrast-ridden aggression. We've got long mouth here. Oh my! Fans! Grittier, much more yelly, much more broken up, like I've demonstrated in the past in many of my other videos, that extreme breakup false chord engagement. And then we've got highly compressed, wider, lazier sounds. Fans have pictures meant to make you cry. The pitch varies a little bit. We're not trying to be right on pitch. We're trying to be very almost subdued. So we've got this character, and I've talked about this on the channel a ton. We've got this character contrast going. We have, oh my! And fans have pictures meant to make you cry. Oh my! We've got that going on. In the midst of this, Corey Taylor is so good at that. Oh my! Fans have added 2 more doubles to the gang vocals here. Oh my! Fans have pictures meant to make you cry. It really furthers that contrast even more. Okay, let's dig into some more extreme stuff now that we've laid this foundation.
This and what I've done to calcify, ignore you. As I close my eyes, I feel it all slipping away. I come towards you. We all got love behind. We let it all slip away. I ignore you. As I close my eyes.
Now listen to the difference in what they've done placement-wise here.
I feel it all slipping away. I come towards you. We all got.
It's still doubled, but now the singing, the cleaner singing, is panned out a bit more, and
I feel it all slipping away.
We've got our screams, yell screams in the center. So we're still that long Corey Taylor yelly, screamy thing that I've talked about before. He's yelling with a lot of false chord engagement, and he's contrasting it with,
come towards you. We all got left behind.
we all got left behind. Eh. Lifting something heavy. This is not, we all got left behind. We all got left behind. We all got left behind. And then we have this sound here.
All slipping away.
Away! Where's your pitch? This is not a fry scream. We're not doing that. This is, you hear it. Feel it all slipping away. You hear that, but he is able to disengage his primary chords momentarily or millisecondly in order to let most of the air hit his false chords.
My eyes, I feel it all slipping away.
I feel it all slipping away. Let's get there. I feel it all. Got the pitch. I got the area of my voice. Now I'm going to sigh. And I'm going to let my voice yodel a little bit. And then I'm going to lean in once I feel that break. Then my false chords are going to, the upper throat, as high as possible, are going to pick up that air. Let it all slipping away. I feel it all slipping away. I feel it all slipping away. You hear the pitch variance, but you get this extreme breakup. It's a big, fat yell with false chord engagement. Listen to the placement, though, and the doubling.
As I close my eyes, I feel it all slipping away. I come towards you. We all come.
This is doubled right here.
Feel it all slipping away. I come towards you.
That is not. And so we've got that distortion going on.
I feel it all slipping away. I feel it all slipping away. I come towards you. Feel it all slipping away. I come towards you. I feel it all slipping away. I come towards you.
We all got left behind.
I feel it all slipping away. I come towards you.
We all got left behind.
Feel it all slipping away. I come towards you.
We all got left behind. Listening on.
As I close my eyes, I feel it all slipping away. I come towards you. We all got left behind. We let it all slip away.
Okay, now here's where we start to really hear the Iowa era come out in his voice. There's this extra sigh and desperation that comes out of it. Listen carefully. Keep all the production stuff we've talked about in mind.
We all got left behind. We let it all slip away.
Right here.
We all got left behind.
There's almost this like, there's less tone and more aggression, right? You heard the tone in there, but he starts to get to this point to where,
Come towards you.
right there, it's almost like he's going hoarse.
George.
This is where being able to moderate compression and turning it into a rasp like this, and then layering that false chord aggression, the breakup like we've talked about, on top of itself really comes in. He's probably, I know he's not thinking about this. He's just in the moment and going at it like crazy here. But his voice starts to change colors here a little, and we can put this in our voices a little bit. So if I take this,
I come towards you. We all got.
yo, I come towards you, but I do it like an old man. I come towards you. Start with the tone still, and then sigh, but let the sigh be long and add more air at the same time we're sighing. Then focus on holding back the air. So we've got there's a big difference between that and this. You hear more note there, right? Versus it's maybe subtle. I don't think it's that subtle. One, you come into it with more of a sigh, inviting more air to come through, and then as you break up, again, way more on dialing in these points of engagement in my course, The Aggressive Vocalist Master Plan of Attack. But this, in my listening to this album, all the songs nonstop the past couple of weeks, and picking out stuff in his isolated vocals like this is the difference. It's a more desperate as opposed to and you hear me dialing it in and it's snapping in and out. This is what we have to do in order to get these two feels. But you listen to Wait and Bleed, you listen to some of this other stuff, and he is yelling, he is having that false chord engagement, but there's more sigh, there's more, there's more of that going on. Really compelling to me to dig in like this.
I can't stand to see your thalidomide robot face. I don't even try it. You had to be a liar just to infiltrate me.
Just to infiltrate me. I love the. I love that very, very vocal lyrics first. Spitting out your words.
You had to be a liar.
You had to let it crack. If you can't let it crack, you can't dial it in. You had to be a liar. You had to be a liar. Ba, ba, ba. That's hard to do. A lot of times when we're doing our ba, 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 when we're really enunciating, this stuff goes out the window, right? The proper points of engagement, and we end up frying our voice. So I like to, if I'm going into something where I'm saying a lot of words, is do exactly what I just did. Open my mouth a lot, cut off the air with the consonants, and let that happen while I'm not trying to do specific words, and then bring the words back in.
I still try to ignore you.
Hear that hoarseness?
Ignore you. As I close my eyes, I feel it all slipping away. I come towards you.
What I find interesting too is you don't hear this as much at the beginning of the song. He gets into that. I mean, he's getting that distortion, right, that we talked about at the beginning. The production distortion as well as his vocal distortion into this sweet spot.
We all got left behind. We let it all slip away. I ignore you. As I close my eyes.
You hear that little
Ignore you. As I close my eyes, I feel it all slipping away. I come towards you. We all got left behind. We let it all slip away.
Ooh. This desperation here, this is so awesome. You hear different vocal qualities coming out here.
We let it all slip away.
At the end, right?
Away.
Very long again.
We let it all slip.
Now, he's definitely yelling there on this pitch.
We let it all.
We let it all.
We let it all slip away.
And then you hear his voice crack, but there's so much distortion on it.
Away.
You hear that yodel in his voice there.
We let it all slip away.
And then he comes down and this is proof that his primary chords are engaged. So experimenting here with some of the distortion. Let's bring this up. Hey! And then let's get his notes.
We let it all slip away.
We let it all slip away. And let our voice kind of crack up into that. And then come down into kind of a moan. We let it all slip away. We let it all slip away. Whine it a little bit. We let it all slip away. Take inspiration from it. Let it infuse in you. We let it all slip away. Oh! 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 Now, you can't do this safely if you don't have the techniques down. But there comes a point where you have to abandon into it and give yourself the opportunity to get lost in the feel and the sensation. If you can't do that, because that's what he's doing right here. And boy, do you hear it during the rest of this track.
Take this away. Take this away.
The pan left and right. Notice the accentuation on the breaths. Take this. The exhales and the inhales.
I can feel it on my mouth. I can taste you on my fingers. I can hear you like the Holy Ghost. And kill you when you get to.
Oh.
Close my eyes. I feel
Now listen to how things are doubled now. It's not in the center anymore. Everything's real wide. This makes it feel that in tandem with the way he's approaching that sort of old man hoarseness thing. Just that behind, right? Left behind! And then everything's, left and then behind. I wonder is there more in there? Yeah, it's in there. We all got left behind is in there, but it's much further back. Now, also, things are overlapping, right? Like they were earlier. We got the way, and then we got the I come right there. And it creates this revolving fullness that you don't necessarily hear as overlapping. You just hear it as like constant aggression, which is so awesome. And then we've got that real clean, we all got left behind in the back, but it's way more in the back. Now there, he's doubled. Listen to this. This is one of the coolest Corey Taylor screams, I think, right here. We let it all slip. There's his pitch. Even though there's not notes, there's pitch there. We let it all slip. We let it all slip. Long mouth. We let it all slip. We let it all slip. And then, where's the pitch? Away! Away! So let's do it. Let's remove the note, but get our pitch so that we can get in the vibe of this. And then he lets it trail a little bit. We let it all slip! We let it all slip! We let it all slip! Away! We let it all slip! Away! Yeah. We let it all slip! Away! Now, the desperate... Away! This is the stuff to pick up on here. He's so desperate and engaged. We let it all slap. Slap. We let it all slap. We let it all slap. Oh, yo. So this is higher. And those imperfections coming out. That's what makes this so amazing. I love this right here. Listen to how it comes in. I'll stop talking for a minute. Slip away. I'm going to play this back part again uninterrupted because it drives the point home here that you can't get these type of screams and this type of engagement by simply analyzing. I mean, that does help you get there safely, and we want to pay careful attention to what we're doing with our voices. But you have to get to a place where you are scary angry, where you are fearful, where you are unhappy, and channeling that in a way through your voice that there's no mistake. There is a consumed nature. You are consumed by something, and this is the expression. We let it all slip away. We let it all slip away. Slip away. Now he's contemplative. We let it all slip away. Away. Stage whisper. And that almost cackle at the end of one of those phrases, right? The it's you know, that kind of that nervous, you're trying to make this bold statement, and then when you say it, you laugh it off a little bit. Maybe that's it, or maybe it's this like grasping for air or grasping for some sort of control. You know, I get this picture. He's like falling off a cliff and reaching up, like, Simon, hey! Simon, hey! Maybe it's like that. I can't say this enough. There is a spirit about these recordings that you won't get because it's unique to these recordings. But by realizing that there is a spirit and then channeling into your own darkness or your own issues and fear and anxiety, putting that and combining that with technique, learning how to balance the two, we will be more free to express ourselves in the way we're hearing in our head, inspired by Corey Taylor. Again, if you'd like more help with your vocals, particularly your aggressive vocals, click that link below and join my course, The Aggressive Vocalist Master Plan of Attack. I had a fabulous time breaking this down and getting into this song and this vibe with you all. Please request more. We'll see you for more.